Hey guys, it's Megan. Finally, welcome back to another video. It's been forever since I've filmed. I've been in a filming slump. My dad's been really sick, in the hospital and all that. He's better now, so that's good, but it was very scary. And I've been sick. There's been a lot going on at work, so we're just gonna get into it. You can't really see my Christmas pants, but I feel like it's time for Christmas, so as evidenced by the tree behind me. So we're gonna get right into this. I thought I'd show you the books I got in the last like 6 months or so, and then we'll do another haul after Christmas in case I get a lot more books. I don't know that I will, but I bought some books. There's kind of a story behind each of these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but one of them has 3 books in them, so kind of like 14 books, I guess. Anyway, Game of Thrones, a parody, the final book in a song of hot and cold. So it's like how it should have ended or something. Yeah, that this is like the how it should have ended, and it's just ridiculous. It's called The Pointy Chair instead of the Iron Throne, John Doe instead of Jon Snow, the Knight's Crotch instead of the Knight's Watch. So you get where this is going. It was $3.99 at Ollie's, and I cannot wait to read this book because I love a parody. It's been a long time since I've read one. So there's that. I also bought used Outlander. Sorry if you hear the baby. He's literally trying to go to sleep right now. My husband's putting him to bed, so I'm trying to get this video filmed because his bedroom's right there. And of course the tree's right here, so it's where I have to be. Anyway, Outlander, it's very used. The spine is broken just substantially, like terribly, really. Smells nice and old though. This book's like 1,000 pages. No, like 900, not even 900 pages, but don't think I'll like it, but everybody talks about it, and it was literally like $2. No, $3.50. I paid $3.50 for this, so see if it's any good. Now, one of the most exciting books that I have is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. I gave the first book, Prior to the Orange Tree, like 4 stars. It was good, but it wasn't my favorite thing. It was a standalone fantasy. It was fine. I wish the dragon had more impact in the book. It kind of built up to it and then not much happened. But this book is the prequel that everyone talks about on YouTube. And I bought it only because, well, actually I got it, I think for my birthday is what it was. Oh, it's already damaged. I don't know. My mom got it for me because I asked for it because it's the most beautiful book. I don't care if it's even good. It's just so pretty, and I'm going to display it on my shelves, and I'm going to love it. And no, I do not own Priory of the Orange Tree. Is that gonna drive me a little crazy? Maybe, but we'll see. On the next book, I'm kind of just like, oh my gosh, yeah, okay, yes, I bought Fourth Wing. It's not the sprayed edges, and I'm very sad that I was not on the hype train enough at the beginning to get it in with the sprayed edges, but I gave this book 4 stars. Apparently, there are some fantasy romance books that I do actually like, and this was one of them. It was ridiculous. Like, I would not read it for the fantasy. If you're a fantasy lover and you think you might like it because of the dragons and the war college that they go to and stuff, no. No. This is, I would say the fantasy is the heart. Yes, it maybe has a little more fantasy in it than some other fantasy romances, but I would say like the first 2/3, or yeah, probably about the first 2/3, fantasy. Last third, romance. And that's kind of how this was structured. Unfortunately, I DNF'd the second book in the series, so I won't be purchasing it anytime soon. Okay, we gotta get through these quickly because the baby's going to sleep. Neverworld Wake got used at Half Price Books for $8.99. One of my favorite young adult books of all time, even though I've only read it one time and I cannot wait to read it again. Marisha Pessl, this is her young adult book, but she's got a couple other adult books. I read Night Film and I loved it too. I gave it like 4.25 stars. I still want to read Special Topics and Calamity Physics, which I do own. So, but this was just like a mystery, sci-fi. It's funny in places. Normally I hate things where it's the same day over and over again, but that's what this one had, and I loved it. And this cover does not do it justice. This looks like realistic fiction or something, YA realistic fiction, which I don't know if that's why they did it or what, but this cover is not an apt cover for what all goes on in this book. So just read it. It's so good, especially if you like kind of the timey-wimey stuff. Ooh, speaking of the timey-wimey stuff, I bought a romance novel. This might be the only romance novel that I've ever bought, like straight up romance with nothing else going for it. I bought In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I think it was actually cheaper than the $8.49, but I could be wrong. But it's actually really short, and I bought this because it's like a sci-fi romance kind of, and it was way more sci-fi-ish than I thought it was going to be, about her having to live the same time over and over again, like something, I don't know, I can't remember. It's been so long since I read it, but something about time. Anyway, Christina Lauren, yeah, it's like 2 authors that write together, one named Christina and one named Lauren, obviously. So I really liked it, and I thought I'd read it again this Christmas, especially because it's short and I'm trying to get to 100 books, and I'm really close. So I also bought this book because it was only $2.99. The Guinevere Deception by Kiersten White. I've never read anything by her, but I hear a lot about her fantasy books. This one is young adult. blurb by Christina Lauren on the back. So is there romance or Arthurian legend, Magic War of Camelot, duplicitous knights, forbidden romances? I don't know. I mean, probably not very good for $2.99, but I bought it. Oh, my trilogy. Oh, this thing is huge. You think this is big enough? Just maybe. This book is 1,400 pages, but it's 3 books in one. This is the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. The first one is the 100,000 Kingdoms, then the Broken Kingdom, then the Kingdom of Gods, and there's a novella called The Awakened Kingdom. So I've heard of the 100,000 Kingdoms. I didn't remember the name of the other ones, but I bought this used because it was only $10. Is that right? I gotta check now. I bought it at a really like little quaint bookstore, $15. It was a tiny little book. I think it was called like Black Cat Books or something in Lexington, and it was a really cool little bookstore. And so anyway, and they had used books and stuff there too. But this one, yeah, this is just straightforward fantasy, I think. I don't know if there's a little sci-fi or not, but I tried some other N.K. Jemisin. I DNF'd some. I've loved others. So this is kind of my last chance for her, though, honestly. If, you know, I hear that might be one of her best works is The 100,000 Kingdoms. So we shall see. I'm going to give it a try. Obviously, hopefully I like it because I bought the whole thing. But N.K. Jemisin is a really weird writer. Her writing style does not vibe with me. I think it's very bizarre, and I'm not really into it. I also bought used. You can see the trend. Lots of used books, but we've got 4 to go. I lied, 4 to go. This one's only $3.99, and it's Belinda by Anne Rice, but she was writing it under the pen name Anne Rampling at the time. It smells pretty good too. Anyway, this is like a fantasy romance, I think. Yeah, I think it's definitely romance, and that's why she wrote it under a different name. I mean, there's a naked lady on the front. But this is one of the few Anne Rice books that I have not read and don't own. I've not read most of the ones under her other like, pen names. I did read one of the Sleeping Beauty books, and I can't remember what name she wrote that under, like Anne Rolliquare, I don't know. There's some letters like a Q-U in there. Anyway, I did read that one. I read the first of the Sleeping Beauty trilogy, but that's really the only one I've read like under a pen name by her. So I'm going to try this one just because I love her writing style so much. I will basically read anything that Anne Rice writes. And I've read like 20 of her other books. No, probably more than that. It's probably more than 20 at this point. But another book that I've already read. You can also see the trend that I do buy a lot of books. Not all of these, but most of them are ones I had already read and knew that I liked. Not most, okay, like half. But I was like, oh, I like this, you know, so therefore I will buy it. Instead of just buying randomly without knowing that I will like it. Yes, I did that with, Flame of Thrones, because that's just funny. I did that with Day of Fallen Night, but it's so pretty I had to. And I did that with Outlander because it was so cheap. And I did that with Guinevere Deception because it was so cheap too. So, and yes, I did the Inheritance trilogy only because it was $15 for all 3, so I had to. So it's either got to be a good deal or I have to have read it before, and then apparently I'll buy it. So I have read this before, The Club Dumas, and the reason I bought this book is because it is the inspiration for the movie The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp, which I've probably talked about on this channel before, and I've probably talked about this book before because I love The Ninth Gate by Johnny Depp. It's a ridiculous older movie. I mean, it's so bad. It's bad, but good. I think it's good. But I think a lot of people probably just didn't like it at the time. Anyway, I really enjoyed it, and this book is the inspiration for it. So just know that it's weird. It says it's a, I don't know, would you call it suspense, mystery, kind of thriller? And this was originally written in Spanish, and this is the translated version. So I'm glad I finally own it because I really enjoyed it. We have 2 books left, and they're both books I got from my school library because we discarded them. And one I might give back and give to our discarded pile. But the first one I took because we had multiple copies. Basically, we discarded a whole bunch of books that we had multiple copies of. Put our little discard stamp on there and got rid of them out of our computer system. We just can't take them all to the new school with us. So last year we got rid of about 1,000 books. We're gonna get rid of about another 1,000 this year. It's called weeding. We weeded them and we're doing various things with them. One of which is giving them away for prizes and things like that. But I did let teachers get the first pick of any that they wanted for their classroom libraries. And I took a couple also, of course. So this one, Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire. I picked this one because it's the second book in the Wayward Children series, which I'm caught up on. I've read all 8 or 9, however many, I'm caught up. I've read all the Wayward Children's books. This is the sequel to Every Hearted Doorway. And a standalone story. It says it's a standalone story, but yeah, but I think you kind of have to read the first one to get it. So this is the story of Jack and Jill from the first book, which they're twins, and their story is super interesting, and theirs is my favorite, and this was my favorite book in the series, 4.5 stars. I like any story with Jack and Jill in it. All their books were my favorite, but this one was definitely my favorite one. So I'm so glad that I own this one, and I totally want to go back and reread it again because I've only read that one once. I read Every Hard Doorway twice now, and I really enjoy it too, but I like Down Among the Sticks and Bones even better. My last book, I thought I'd do a reading vlog where I read books set at theme parks because that would be fun since I'm a theme park enthusiast, and this one clearly theme park. So it's called Hot Dog Girl, and I think she's got a job over the summer where she dresses up in a hot dog costume at a theme park or something. She works at Magic Castle Playland as a giant dancing hot dog. There's her crush, who is the dreamy diving pirate Nick. I guess he works there, who already has a girlfriend that is literally the princess of the park. And then there's her best friend, who's the carousel operator. And it turns out this is their last summer at Magic Castle Playland, unless of course she can find a way to stop it from closing. Oh, and the park's closing. So there's a lot going on, and it's, it's obviously just it's a hilariously awkward romance. Oh, it's under romance. I was gonna say realistic fiction. Okay, it's actually a romance. Okay, I'm gonna try it and we'll see how it goes. So if I don't like this one, this is the one I'll take back to the school library. So those are the however many books, 14, sort of 12, but the one had 2 extras in it, that I bought in the last probably 6 months or so. Only one I think I was actually gifted, and then I did buy the rest of them. So anyway, this is just a little pre-haul before the actual Christmas haul. I didn't really ask for too many books for Christmas, but I probably will get at least maybe 2 or 3. So anyway, I will talk to you guys again soon. Thank you for watching. Oh, and I guess let me know if you've read any of these. So, or if you plan on it. The ones I would highly recommend that you should totally read are Neverworld Wake. This is the one I'd probably recommend the most out of all these, and this one if you liked the first one. But I also do recommend this one because it's really fun. Fourth Wing, maybe. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.